All right, y'all. Let's try this thing again. Hopefully, I'm upright. Hopefully, I'm upright this time. Now, as the title say, like I said last night, for those who were gracious enough to join me, I said that I would be reading from an actual book that I actually wrote called 180 Degrees on My Way Back. So I'll sit here for a minute and see if I can get some people to actually join in on the live or whatever. I knew I was supposed to have been doing this. Actually, I was supposed to be doing this at 8, but a family member actually needed me to assist them in acquiring a vehicle. So, as I say, family over everything, you know? Family over everything. So I did that, and when 8 o'clock rolled around, I happened to be still at the dealership with him getting his vehicle. So I tapped in and let you guys know that it would be actually 9 o'clock instead of the 8 that I originally stated. But hopefully, you guys are still able to join me for the reading and the talk after. I don't know who's actually in the room right now, but I see someone has joined me already, and whoever that happens to be, welcome and thank you for joining me. And just as quick as you joined me, you jumped out of the room. Come on back. That's not what I'm looking at. I hope that thing ain't. Open the door. What are you doing? Thank you, midget. Why you didn't close the door? Why you didn't close the door? I'm gonna have some little reverb there. My apologies. Is anybody catching this on the rebroadcast or whatever? But like I said, I'm going to be reading from the book, and I'm going to give a little backstory about the actual book itself and the reason why I wanted to actually write a book or whatever. I actually wanted to write a book. What inspired me actually to actually write a book, because my greatest fear above anything else is actually being forgotten. Being forgotten is my biggest fear. You know, is we can, while we're here, the time we have, we can eat all the healthiest foods, we can exercise and all of that. But at the end of the day, we all have a date with destiny. And we're gonna be gone. You know what I mean? And my greatest fear is once I'm gone, to be forgotten. You know? So that really inspired me to put down some of my thoughts in writing, you know what I mean? Just so if someone happened to get a hold of my actual book, they would get a glimpse into who it is I actually am or were, per se. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna jump into the I'm just gonna read the very first short story or poem from the beginning of the book, and I'll actually read it more than once as I talk through the live. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna give me 1 second while I call myself closing this door real quick. 1 second. See, it appears that somebody joined me. I joined myself. Joined myself. Let's see. Oh my gosh, she didn't put any meat in the sandwich. Where's my meat, man? I didn't even feel like eating a whole plate of food or whatever. I just settled for a sandwich or a couple sandwiches. So while I sit here and wait to see if anyone will join me, I'll eat my sandwich. And I'll talk as well. Trying to turn this TV off. Yeah, but what actually, like I said before, the thought of actually being forgotten was the main reason why I decided to actually write the book. But I did it in a time where I needed an outlet to occupy my mind, so to say, as I was doing something else or trying to do something else. What was that? Somebody sent me a message. I don't know who that was. It says something, don't tell your story or something. Don't tell your story yet or something like that. But before I got a chance, as quick as it came in, it popped right out. But I will be telling my story. But I'd rather not be telling it to myself. So I'm going to wait and see if anyone jumps into the live with me. I don't know if that was somebody telling me not to do it just yet or whatever because they hadn't got on. But as I said, I'm just going to be reading one entry from the book tonight and speaking on the thought behind that actual short story or poem which I actually wrote. And this is actually the first short story or poem from the book. This is the very first one that I wrote out of that 180 some entries. And as I look back, once I pulled the book out today, I didn't even remember. 1 second. It's my soda. Yes, I didn't even remember the very first thing that I wrote in the book. As I said, I actually wrote this book back in like 2010. I actually started writing it in 2010, so that was some time ago. So and it's been a while actually since I'd actually seen the book or took it out and read anything out of it or whatever, so I couldn't actually remember the very first story or whatever that was actually in the book until I actually opened it up. And it was kind of chilling, you know what I mean? Because the actual story, and I'm going to go into, like I say, the thought process behind this story after I actually read it. But the story in itself, now this was in 2010. 2010. And the fact, what I actually put into this entry in this book, the very first entry, actually came to pass. You understand what I'm saying? So it gave me a kind of eerie feeling. You know what I mean? But like I said before, sometimes things will happen and I'll say to myself, it'll be something that I'd already seen, like a deja vu type thing or whatever. And this happens quite a lot, you know? Like I say, sometimes to the point where it's freaky. You know what I mean? 1 second, people. Where's my freaking soda? I don't want to be chomping all in y'all ears or whatever, but some people like that. And I I had to actually eat something. And along with the actual book reading today, I got a very special treat for you guys as well. I'm not even going to tell you what it is yet. But you guys will see. Anybody that, well, I'm not even going to say it because then you'll know. But if you made it this far, stick around because I'm going to be starting the reading in a few minutes. And while you are here, I would like for you to hit that like button. If you aren't a family member already, press that subscribe button and become a family member. Become a mind. Become a mind. You know what I mean? That's what we all around here. That's what I call my family members. We are all minds. Great minds at that. You know? So, make sure you become one. Become a mind. Become a mind today. Hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to think out the box sometimes. To have a mind of your own. You know, think for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Become a mind. Hit that subscribe button. The bell. Hit the bell as well. So you'll be getting anything I put up, you'll be notified. You know, make sure you push all for all notifications. Do those three things. Like, subscribe, bell for all notifications. And comment if you will. Make sure you guys do that because things are gonna be, I'm gonna try to start coming on every day. Especially now that I said I'm gonna be reading the book and explaining the book. So I'm gonna have to be here to do that. But it seems as if my bot has entered the building. Yep. My bot is here. And I don't know where that thing come from. But every time I do a video, a post content or whatever, that bot pops up. I guess people don't believe me when I say it's somebody hacking my page or whatever, hacking my channel. But it is what it is. It ain't like I'm monetized or anything, so I'm not losing nothing. Not right now anyway. So knock yourself out. But once the family grows, somebody's going to be able to point you out, and then we'll just smash you. Like the cockroach you are. I'll say right now, tell a friend to tell a friend. That I'm on, that I'm live. And we're about to do the reading. We're actually about to do the reading in the next 5 minutes. Hopefully I can down this other sandwich in the next 5 minutes. Like I say, I'm gonna repeat. I'm gonna repeat the actual. Gonna repeat the actual story more than once for anybody that may happen to enter the chat after I actually started, so they'll get to see exactly what it is I'm explaining. I did not bring no napkin up here. This is really ghetto. Don't judge me. What did I leave in it? Oh, bananas. Let's take them out his bag before they be around his head. Yep. Now I think this was the first. Yeah, this is the very first entry. Oh, wow. You know what? I was mistaken. I thought it was 2010. It was actually 2007. So I actually wrote this book like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Almost 14 years ago. Yeah, this year will make 14 years. Wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Hmm. Let me finish this sandwich. Let me finish this sandwich. I mean, I know YouTube a lot of times don't be sending out notifications. But maybe, just maybe, somebody will catch it on humble. That's not cool. Mm-mm-mm. We're gonna do this. Like I say, I'm gonna be starting the reading. We'll be starting the reading in a minute. Hope you guys will bear with me. Hmm. That's really odd. I wanted to see something for myself. Okay. I think we can pretty much actually start. Like I said, for those who get the rebroadcast, I'll probably actually read the actual first entry of the book more than once. So just so those who maybe got the broadcast late can actually, you know, kind of be a little familiar about what it is I'm talking about once I start explaining my mind state, you know what I mean, as far as the moment that I actually wrote the actual entry. So, like I already explained, I was on a mission to try to, change my life or whatever, change my life around or whatever. And so I needed something to occupy my time. And so I sat back and I started writing this book, just as an outlet to, have something to do. Whereas though I wouldn't have as much idle time on my hands, and I said that I was going to do like a 6-month journal. I said I was going to document, my thoughts for 6 months, and during this 6 months, I was going to try to accomplish a goal that I had set, so whereas though by the end of that 6 months, my project, the book, would have been complete, as well as me completing my personal goal. So, with that being said, I titled the book 180 Degrees on My Way Back. So, for anyone that's not familiar with, circumferences and stuff like that, see, 180 degrees is a half a circle. You know what I mean? Like if you turned around and faced the other way, you just made a 180-degree turn. You understand what I'm saying? So, what I was doing in my personal life was making a 180-degree turn. You understand what I'm saying? And when I did so, I did that and went back to where I was supposed to be. You understand what I'm saying? Basically, I had to turn back and find myself. You understand? I had to actually turn back and find myself. So, with that being said, this was the first entry from the actual book. And it's titled Justice Served. Okay? Written by, let's just say, C.T. Major, right? Date, like I said, I treated it like a journal of sorts. October 5th, 2007, right? And this entry goes, this is actually more so like, I guess you could call it a poem, It's more so written in a poem format, right? And it goes, Mr. Officer, every day you go above and beyond your duties just to violate those whom you were sworn to protect and serve. I guess simply doing your job would be a little too much like right. Am I right? You live for getting your thing off on my people, as if you get some kind of orgasmic release from locking up my brothers and sisters on false charges. Lord, don't let you get around a bunch of your fellow assholes officers, you all would probably be out beating up on someone's grandmother or grandfather with no remorse. Well, I'm here to let you know, as of today, we as a people refuse to just sit back and be treated as if slavery is still in effect. It wasn't right then, and it damn sure ain't right now. So the next time you even entertain the idea to raise your hand and strike another black male for simply being a young black male, just know the only grand jury you're going to face is 100 fed up black brothers and sisters who will see to it without a doubt that justice is served. Now, when I actually wrote this, I can't remember exactly the actual news report that I had seen, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been I can't remember this guy's name, but I think he had dreadlocks. What was this guy's name? But the police actually beat this guy to death. You know what I mean? And it was on camera. It was on camera. They beat him. You know what I mean? And it was on camera. And he later died while in their custody. And this wasn't Freddie Gray. This wasn't Freddie Gray. You know what I mean? This was before Freddie. Or was it Freddie Gray? When did Freddie Gray happen? No, Freddie Gray happened like after 14. So this is well before Freddie Gray, because this was like 2007. But if I'm not, it was even, no, I don't even think it was the guy that the police beat. I think this is when the case where the police officer actually slammed the guy on his neck and broke his neck, and he ended up dying. Up there off of anybody from Baltimore actually see this live or whatever in the rebroadcast, put it in the comments the guy that the police killed up on Biddle and Montfort. I can't remember the brother's name, the guy's name. But the police had slammed him, picked him up and slammed him on his neck and broke his neck. And there was a big thing, you know what I mean, about it, big investigation and all this. And they ended up paying his people or whatever. I don't think the guy went to jail. I'm quite sure the police officer didn't go to jail. But they ended up paying his family and everything. But there was a whole lot of that going on back then. This is before, like I said, before Freddie Gray and all that. So it was a lot of that stuff going on, and they were actually getting away with. But this is what I thought of when I actually wrote this particular story, because it was happening so much. It was just so common. It was just so common. You know what I mean? That they would beat on you, and I can't say, and I'm not just talking about different places. I'm talking about here in Baltimore. You know, it wasn't common. I mean, it wasn't uncommon for, you know what I mean, the police to hop out and just beat a person. You understand what I'm saying? Beat a person and then say that they found such and such on you. You understand what I'm saying? This is before the gun task force got locked up for all the craziness that they were doing. You know, before a quote unquote light was shined on, you know what I mean, the negative stuff that they was doing. You know what I mean? That they got caught doing. You know what I mean? Not to say all the stuff that they didn't get caught for doing, what was happening. They were actually killing people. No, they was actually killing people. And I actually said it. But when I say that when I looked at the story, I got this eerie feeling because I wrote this in 2007. I wrote this particular entry in 2007, right? Now, this was maybe, 7 years before Freddie Gray. This is like 7 years before Freddie Gray. Now, if anybody remembers, the reason why they even locked Freddie Gray up is because the police said that they looked at him and he ran. You know what I mean? That he looked at them and he ran. No other reason but that he ran. So he ran and he ended up dead. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the type of stuff that happened on a daily. You know what I mean? And I said this stuff wasn't uncommon. This stuff was very common back then. But just like I say in this poem or whatever, you know, eventually the pot was going to eventually boil over. I knew this. You know what I mean? I actually knew that the pot would eventually boil over. It would come to a point where as though people weren't going to take it anymore. You know what I mean? People weren't going to take it anymore, and they were going to, they were going to actually fight back. You understand what I'm saying? It was going to have to be some type of justice. You know what I mean? Something was going to have to give. And it took for George Floyd, it took George Floyd, it took Freddie Gray, you know what I mean? Trayvon Martin. You know, it took for a lot of people to leave here. You know what I mean? To keep adding more logs to the fire, you know, to stoke that fire, to make it hotter and hotter to the point where as though it just, the heat was unbearable and everything just went up in flames. You understand what I'm saying? From here, from my standpoint here, I saw it coming. I actually saw this coming. You understand? I didn't know actually. I didn't actually know when it would happen, but I did actually see it coming. You know, and as I go on and read you guys more and more entries from this book, you'll see a lot of things like this story in particular, you know, resonated with true events, you know what I mean, that happened later. You'll see that there's a lot of stuff that's in this book that actually happened later. You know what I mean? After this, well after I put these words on these pages. You understand what I'm saying? But like I say, we have a whole 6 months to get through the entire book. And like I say, it was the poem itself wasn't all that, you know, in your face or whatever. It was just a message. It was just a message that was conveyed through the poem. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas though it was just saying, you know, it put a spotlight on the negative stuff that these police were doing. You know what I mean? The way they were carrying themselves. The fact that people weren't going to take being mistreated much longer. You know what I mean? And it all came out, you know what I mean? And here we are today. But like I say, there's plenty stories in this book that are going to resonate to true events that have happened in the past, 14 years? So as we end up going through the book, you guys will see this. You guys will see this, you know what I mean? And you guys will begin to feel as I do, you know what I mean? When it comes to these stories. I mean, sometimes I pick this book up and I've read particular stories in this book or poems or whatever that I had written in this book. And it would get to the point, you know what I mean, where I would become like super emotional. You know what I mean? I would become like super emotional because it instantly took me back to the day that I actually wrote those, you know what I mean, words on that particular page and how I was feeling as I wrote those words on that particular page. You know, I have short stories, I have poems, you know, related to certain family members, you know, that are no longer here. Different people that I know that are no longer here. You know what I mean? So just the fact that I have stuff like that in there, I mean, I just want you guys to continue to take the ride with me and don't be, please don't be shy or whatever. I would like to know how you feel about these stories and poems or whatever that I've written in this book or whatever. If you actually enjoyed them, if you know, if you could actually understand the actual writing, or if the writing resonated with you, you know what I mean? Put it in the comments. You know what I mean? I would love to hear the feedback. Any advice or whatever you may have as well, put it in the comments. Right after you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and push bell and push all for all notifications, whereas though the next time I drop a video or live, you guys will be notified. You know what I mean? As to it, like I say, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a mine. You know what I mean? But like I said, I was gonna read the book. I was gonna read the actual story itself more than once. So for anybody who came into the stream late or whatever, they could get to see, you know what I mean? Maybe you jumped in and you just saw me talking or whatever and figuring out what is it he talking about. This, you know, it's simply a book that I wrote. Well, I'm not going to say that it's simply, you know what I mean? It was a book I wrote during a time where, you know, I would say that it was definitely a trying time, you know what I mean, for me. Because I had set out to, you know what I mean? What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother Johnny? You know, it was definitely a trying time, you know, in my life, whereas though I wanted to better myself, so to say, you know. I wanted to better myself, and I had to do this on multiple occasions and actually had succeeded only to backpedal after a while. You know what I mean? But this time I said to myself that I wanted to try to be successful at it. You know what I mean? So I was going to do it, and I always had a problem with, once I got myself together, you know, ended up falling back was because I had too much idle time on my hands. So I set out to, whereas though I said that I would, do this as a way of not having so much idle time on my hands. But I'm gonna actually jump back to the story. Like I said before, the name of this entry is actually Justice Served. Written by C.T. Major. Date October the 5th, 2007. And it goes, Mr. Officer, every day you go above and beyond your duties just to violate those whom you were sworn to protect and serve. I guess simply doing your job would be a little too much like right. Am I right? You live for getting your thing off on my people as if you get some type of orgasmic release from locking up my brothers and sisters on false charges. Lord, don't let you get around a bunch of your fellow assholes. Oh, I mean officers. You all would probably be out beating up on someone's grandmother or grandfather with no remorse. Well, I'm here to let you know, as of today, we as a people refuse to sit back and be treated as if slavery still is in effect. It wasn't right then, and it damn sure ain't right now. So the next time you even entertain the idea to raise your hand and strike another young black male for simply being a young black male, just know the only grand jury you're going to face is 100 fed up black brothers and sisters who will see to it without a doubt that justice is served. Now, for anybody that comes in or whatever, I say I don't want nobody to take it as though simply because I spoke about black males or whatever, but when I wrote this actual entry, I was speaking on something, an incident that had actually happened here in Baltimore. I was speaking on a problem which we had here in Baltimore, whereas though we had a lot of this, a lot of young black guys or young black men killed by police here. And it was being swept under the rug, so to say. You know what I mean? They would call themselves, quote unquote, doing an investigation. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, there would be no charges filed against any of the police or anything like that. They may have paid the family, you know what I mean, a couple dollars in the end and made them sign agreements where as though they couldn't speak to the news or newspaper or anything like that involving a settlement, you know what I mean, where as though that's what they were doing. So it wasn't no reason for them to stop because it was no really real, it wasn't no penalty for them, so to say, you know what I mean, whereas though it wasn't a price for them to pay. So that's why you ended up having that the gun task force, where they eventually locked up the whole freaking gun task force. You know, they speak about gangs and stuff. These people were actually a gang. This gun task force was actually a freaking gang themselves. The things they were doing, you know what I mean? Down to killing people. Robbing. I mean, they were living out the freaking movie Training Day. They were like a real live Training Day. Robbing drug dealers, selling drugs themselves, killing people. You know what I mean? But this is stuff that was going on. It wasn't new. It didn't just start with them. This is stuff that had been happening. You know what I mean? But like I said, it was being swept under the rug. And it just so happened that it was one time in particular when this had happened. And that's what actually, you know, that's where my mind was at when I actually wrote this entry. The very first entry to my book, 180 Degrees on My Way Back. You know, that's where my mind state was at. Like, pretty much, no, I'm tired. I had a mindset of pretty much, I'm tired of this happening. You know what I mean? I'm tired of this happening. They just keep doing it and keep doing it, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. Whereas though I was saying to myself, pretty much, it's not going to stop until the people get together and actually fight back to let them know we're not going to take this anymore. And I actually wrote this in 2007, like 7-8 years before the whole Freddie Gray thing. You know what I mean? The years before George Floyd. I saw this coming. You know what I mean? I saw this coming. You understand what I'm saying? But like I say, it's going to be several stories in this book. Several stories in this book, or poems, or whatever. However I laid them out, whatever format I laid them out. I have some that's short stories, some are poems, or whatever. But whatever way I laid out that day's particular entry, there are going to be stories or whatever that resonate to the point where as though you would think that I just wrote it that actual day. And not to, I don't want anyone to think that I'm just making this up, that this story is old. You know what I mean? Like I say, years before any of these major news stories. You know what I mean? Here's the actual, I want you guys to actually see. Can y'all make that out? As you can see, the date is right there. October the 5th, 2007 is when I wrote this very first entry to this book. And like I say, it's going to be several of these entries. Yeah. Like I say, it been like that. Nah, he ain't get sentenced yet. He's still going to court now. They having his trial now. But like I say, they're changing a lot of things with that particular case. And I did a video when that first happened. I did a video. You know, they first charged him with a second or third degree manslaughter or whatever like that. And I did a video talking about the way they charged him. And I said, the way they're charging him, they're setting up to, you know what I mean, get him off. You know what I mean? Because that's not even a real charge. Third degree manslaughter or second degree manslaughter, something like that. And I was like, I never heard of that before. You know what I mean? And I looked it up. And it's only 2 states out of all the states in America that even have that charge on the books. Oh, you talking about the yeah, you talking about the Witcher call. But you can pretty much make out that the date was October the 5th, 2007. I just wanted, you know what I mean, anybody to see, you know what I mean, alive to know that I'm not just writing this stuff, you know what I mean, today or whatever. Because like I said, it's going to be a lot of stuff that I, you know what I mean, when I come and I like different stories or whatever. Because like I said, I did a story for each day. Each day I wrote something far as in this book. And it's like 180 something pages. You know what I mean? I'm going to come in every day and I'm going to read one of the stories or whatever and say exactly why it was, you know what I mean, what made me write what I wrote on that particular day. But this just happened to be the first one that made that the first entry to the book. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's going to be a lot of them that, you know, that'll probably be similar. You be like, did you? It's like a bunch of stuff that I saw before it actually happened. Right, exactly. Because when they charged them like that, I was like, that don't sound right. You know what I mean? And I said, they playing games. They trying to set him up to get him off. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's only 2 states that actually use that actual charge, and it's Minnesota and somewhere else. And I actually put in my video about that, and then they upgraded his charge to what was it, 2nd-degree murder. But now they're saying that they trying to put that 2nd-degree manslaughter or 3rd-degree manslaughter or whatever it was back on the table. You know what I mean? As an option, just in case they don't find him guilty of manslaughter or 2nd-degree murder. You know what I mean? They could charge him with the 3rd degree or whatever. I'm like, man, they playing a whole lot of games. You know what I mean? That's what hey, that's what I didn't even, I forgot what they, hold on for a second, Johnny. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on one of these other phones, because I had never heard of it myself. I had never heard of it myself until that day when I actually did that actual video, and I had to look it up to see if it was an actual charge. But it's only used in 2 states. Let me see if I can pull it up on this. What was it? 2nd-degree manslaughter? It was 3rd degree. Was it 3rd degree? 3rd degree manslaughter. No, it's actually a law in 3 states. I thought it was 2, but it's 3. They use it in Florida, they use it in Minnesota, and they use it in Pennsylvania. Wait a minute, I'm going to give you the definition. Wait a minute, I'm going to pull the definition up for you. Shit, come up. the what you call file. But I know it only carried 10 years. It carried 10 or 15 years. I don't know why this daggone thing ain't pulling up. No app found to. Man, they can kill a phone. My grandkids know how to kill a phone, man. They really do. Well, let me look on this phone right here. Yeah, but it's they actually have it. They actually have it. I'm trying to pull it up on this freaking phone. What the hell? What the heck is this phone doing? It's jumping all over freaking. I don't know what this freaking phone doing, man. Right. Manslaughter, right. That's you know what I mean, manslaughter's like, right, when it's done unintentionally. They had it on here to say the exact statutory definition of third-degree murder is the unlawful killing of a human being when perpetrated without any design. Why the hell this? I can't. Without any design to affect. What the hell is wrong with this? I can't even pull this shit up. Oh, here you go. Is this it? Yeah, the definition, the unintentional killing of another through an eminently dangerous act committed without a depraved mind and without regard for human life. Also includes causing another's drug-related death by selling, delivering, or administering a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 substance. Yeah, the unintentional killing of another through an eminently dangerous act committed with a depraved mind and without regard for human life. But that ain't nothing but freaking manslaughter. That's the definition for regular manslaughter. You know what I mean? That ain't, you know what I mean, no different than what you gonna get with regular manslaughter. And see, that's what they doing. They put that out there. You know what I mean? No, but see, the first degree, you know what I mean? First degree was with it comes with planning. It's premeditation. And first degree, like, well, I'm before you leave and go, I know I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? But what he did, he didn't set out. He didn't know he was gonna cross paths with George Floyd that actual day. But once he got there and things started going the way he did, once he got him on that ground, he did exactly what he set out to do. Know what I mean? which was straight up second degree murder. You know what I mean? Just flat out. You know what I mean? It was just straight up second degree murder. It wasn't no manslaughter or none of that. That was just straight up second degree. And the only reason why it wasn't first degree is because he didn't actually know that he was going to run into him that day. But other than that, straight up, anybody that saw the video, seen this guy, I mean, he actually, at one point, he's put his hand into his pocket to press down on his leg. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to get leverage to press down harder onto his neck, man. You can see it all in his face. You know what I mean? His face just said it. You know what I mean? His face said it all. His body language said it all. You know what I mean? He wanted to actually kill this guy, man. He set out to kill him. And he did. But like I said, what was happening with the trial thing is that they're trying to, you know what I mean? They're trying to confuse the jury. You know what I mean? They're trying to confuse the jury. Whereas though when it's time for them to deliberate, whereas though they're not going to be able to decipher the difference between the regular manslaughter and the third degree manslaughter. You know what I mean? Whereas though you're going to have some say, well, it was manslaughter. No, it was third degree. And then you end up having a hung jury. No. First degree murder is like you intended on killing that person. That's, say, like, I wake up this morning, right? And I say, I'm getting ready to go over such and such house, kick his door in, and kill him. You know what I mean? I'm actually planning this. You know what I mean? I'm planning this out. You know what I mean? Which they call premeditation. You know what I mean? I'm actually planning it out to a degree. I know I'm going to kill this person. You know what I mean? But second degree is I just happen to be outside and I bump into this person and we get into it. You know what I mean? We get into it and I kill him. You know what I mean? And I kill him. I might mean to kill him. You know what I mean? But I had no idea that I was going to actually run into this person. But when I did, you know what I mean? Yeah, they definitely trying to help him out. You said it sound like first degree. I mean, it all depends. It all depends. See, because that's what I say. This case is real tricky. This case is real tricky. Just the fact that they worked together. You know what I mean? They worked at the same nightclub together. They have a history. You know what I mean? They have a history. So it could have actually been first degree. Because once that call came out and he heard George Floyd's name come over at that radio, he could have went there, you know what I mean, with that on his mind. You know what I mean? Oh, because they said that when they worked together in that bar or whatever, that he used to try to, you know what I mean, do things or whatever, or whatever, but George Floyd had a little pull in the bar, so he put up his rank. George Floyd outranked him at the bar, the nightclub or whatever they used to work at together. So he knew him, you know what I mean? So it ain't no telling. He could have been tried to kill him or told him he was gonna kill him. Anytime the man say, "Don't kill me," or "They gonna kill me," they trying to kill me. You know what I mean? He could have said it before. You know what I mean? We'll never know. Yep. 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 And that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so tricky, because don't nobody really know to what degree their disagreements or whatever when they work together, when, you know what I mean, don't nobody know the type of arguments they had at that nightclub or whatever, or if he actually threatened him before, you know what I mean, or whatever. But he could have possibly told him before, if I see you out on the street, I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Because it just seemed odd that when he got there, you know, the whole thing didn't really escalate till he got on the scene. That's when everything went to shit. You know what I mean? That's when he didn't want to get in the car and all this, and he started screaming, they gonna kill me. You know what I mean? So, who knows, man? Like I said, who knows, and we'll never know. It's crazy. That's something that we'll never know. We'll never get the answer to that. But like I said, just there's so many variables in this case that is, you know, it wouldn't surprise me none if it end up being a hung jury. You know what I mean? And that's what I got happening. That's exactly what I got happening. Yeah. Yeah. They worked at a nightclub where as though the cop was doing security there, and George Floyd was like a bouncer. George Floyd was like a bouncer, and the cop was, you know what I mean, like moonlighting, you know what I mean, like a second job there. But George Floyd was like, you know what I mean, he outranked the police officer at that club. The club owner pretty much had George Floyd, you know what I mean, in charge of the security at the club. So if George Floyd told the officer to do something while he was there, he had to do it, you know what I mean? Because he outranked him. You know what I mean? He was head of security at this club or whatever. So I'm quite sure they probably had some disagreements or whatever. You know what I mean? At that club. And he might have told him, you know what I mean, if I catch you in the streets, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third to you. Wouldn't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, see, it you know, a lot of stuff came out after the fact. You know what I mean? After it all happened, a lot of stuff came out. Like, people didn't know that Chauvin, what the officer that was with him, that came with him, I forgot his name. The other guy that was with him that came, I think Chauvin is actually married to his sister. That's his sister. Chauvin's wife was the other guy's sister, the other police officer's sister or cousin or something like that. Whereas though the two of them, you know what I mean, was always, you know what I mean, hanging together and stuff. Right. Right. So like I say, don't be surprised. That's what I got happening. I got this case ending in a hung jury. You know what I mean? I got it ended in a hung jury. Whereas though, now, he don't have a bail now. And what I have happening, and see, he's the only, out of all four of those police officers, he's the only one that's still in prison right now. He's the only one that's still actually locked up right now. The rest of them are out on bail. You know what I mean? The rest of them have made bail. He's the only one that's still locked up because he wasn't ever given a bail. They didn't give him any bail. So he has to stay in there. But the rest of them, they're out on bail. Now, what I have happening, I have the case ending in a hung jury, and the state actually trying him again. But while they're going through the process of trying him again or whatever, I believe that they're going to give him a bail. They're going to give him a bail, and he's going to be able to fight the case from the outside and keep getting postponements and all that type of stuff. Why should I tell you? Even if they don't give him the bail, I got this case. I got the first trial ending in a hung jury. Simply because they made it too confusing. They got too many different charges on the table. You know what I mean? Whereas though they're making it confusing. And then you can't get an impartial jury. There's no way that that you can get an impartial jury because everybody and their mother know about that case. You know what I mean? There's no way you're going to find somebody that's not familiar with that case. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I got the whole thing ending in a hung jury. I didn't seen it too much. But their biggest thing is they don't want all the violence and stuff, you know what I mean, to start back up. To start it when he first was killed or whatever. They don't want people to come there and be marching and doing this, that, and the third all over again. So once they do a hung jury, they're going to try him again. That's what, the state plans on trying him a second time and that and the third. That's exactly what's going to happen. The only way that I can see him actually being found guilty the first go round is if they got all three of the other police officers telling on him. That's the only way. That's the only way I see him, you know what I mean, being found guilty. But I do actually think that the first police officer they allowed to make bail, I think he is, you know what I mean, I think he is testifying against Chauvin. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be a state witness. Simply because he was trying to stop. He was trying to stop him or stop the whole thing from escalating. You know what I mean? When it was going on, even to the point that he was in the ambulance trying to give him CPR or whatever, trying to assist him, trying to help him. You know what I mean? And Chauvin was like, you know what I mean? Where he told Chauvin that you know what I mean? Do you think you could take your knee off his neck now or whatever? And he was like, no. You know what I mean? What? How the man where's he going at? And he's in handcuffs, laying on the ground. Where's he going? It was crazy. Yeah. But you know what? when I was reading up on that third-degree manslaughter thing, like I said, they use it in Minnesota, Philly, I mean not Philly, but Pennsylvania, and Florida. And there was one other case actually in Minnesota where they charged somebody with that third-degree manslaughter. And it just so happened to be a police officer. They actually found guilty. You know what I mean? They charged him with that third-degree manslaughter, and they found him guilty. And I think he was sentenced to 10 or 15 years or whatever, because it don't carry a whole lot of time. It only carry like 10 or 15 years. And this actual guy, it was said that someone called the police, the lady called the police, and when the police got, she called and said that she heard somebody screaming or whatever in the alley behind her house. And when the officers got there, she was in the alley or whatever. She ended up outside in the alley and said that she walked up on the police car and the police ended up shooting her and killing her. You know what I mean? And it was a big thing or whatever. It was all on the news and stuff like that. And they charged him with third-degree manslaughter. And they actually found him guilty of it. And they were actually... I got one. I got one. Go on my later or whatever when you get a chance. I got one. Matter of fact, I got a couple. It's more than one. It was like at least two or three of them. When this first happened, I got it's like 2 or 3 videos because I was following it and I was actually making videos about it. And I spoke on it, whereas though they tried to say that it wasn't ruled his death wasn't ruled a homicide at one point. And I actually made a video about it. And then it was crazy because as soon as I made a video about it, then the news people said that it was actually ruled a homicide. It was a lot of stuff. They was doing a lot of tricky stuff. You know what I mean? Like they was trying to help the officer. You know what I mean? Win this case or whatever. Yeah, it was crazy. Like I say, when you get a chance, you know what I mean? Go back in my videos, you go on the page or whatever, and click on my videos and stroll down, and it's like 2 or 3 actual videos about this case. That's what's up. You know what I mean? But yeah, that one officer that they charged with this, you know what I mean? And they was talking about that he's actually appealing his conviction. And they were saying that if he is able to successfully appeal, you know what I mean, the verdict on his case, that if they actually find Chauvin guilty of the third-degree manslaughter, then he'll definitely be able to appeal his, you know what I mean, and would more than likely win. You know what I mean? Just on the fact that the other officer appealed his, you know what I mean, and won. So like I say, they doing a lot of tricky stuff, whereas though it's like they're trying to help that officer without setting off the people. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's real crazy, man. It's like I be seeing all, you know what I mean, all the little tricks or whatever they be trying to do. When it was plain, you know what I mean, it was just plain straight up second-degree murder. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say first degree. I'm gonna say what it actually was. I would love to see him get first-degree murder, but it don't fit first degree. But it was definitely second-degree murder. How did you say manslaughter when the damn medical examiner ruled it a homicide? You know what I mean? The medical examiner ruled it a homicide. So it was murder. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, man, it's we got one heck of a justice system over here, man. We got one heck of a justice system, and the ones that's supposed to that's supposed to you know be actually the ones that actually supposed to go by the law or whatever more than anybody else, they be breaking it. They be the ones that be breaking it more than anybody. Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And I know it's a lot of stuff that went on between the two of them that they probably, you know what I mean, stopped from getting out into the public. You know what I mean? Stop the news from putting out there and stuff like that. It's just crazy. See, but it was nobody. It'd be different if they had somebody that was willing to testify that they saw them arguing and heard Chauvin tell him that he was going to kill him. You know what I mean? Or something like that. You know what I mean? Then they could actually give him the first degree with no problem. Yeah, yeah, but I don't. You know, my main thing, like I said before, my thing with the death penalty, man, you can't, you make yourself look like a hypocrite if you're telling people that it's not okay to kill people. You know what I mean? It's not okay to kill people. You kill somebody, we lock you up, and then as punishment, you kill them. You know what I mean? It's just it's hypocrisy. You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? It's hypocrisy. Like I say, if you're gonna punish somebody, then you punish them. You can't punish somebody by killing them. You know what I mean? Ain't no punishment in that. Because once you kill them, it's over. You know what I'm saying? You just, only thing you do by killing them is shorten their sentence. You know what I mean? That's like giving them parole. That's like giving them an early parole. Killing them. No, if you want to punish them, you make them spend out every living day that they have left in confinement. You know what I mean? That's how you punish them. You don't shit put them to sleep. No, exactly. Exactly. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You can't have the argument that it's wrong for somebody to kill somebody and then you kill them. You kill them supposedly as a form of punishment. You know what I mean? That's why I say that it's just so much hypocrisy in this justice system. You know what I mean? That is crazy. That's why they doing all this so-called justice reform right now here. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas though the system is just so jacked up. You know what I mean? When you take somebody like Trump, you know what I mean? He execute all these people when they shouldn't have been executed. I mean, you executed people that were borderline retarded. You know what I mean? When it's clearly stated by law, by the Supreme Court, that if a person has an IQ lower than whatever, that they can't be executed. But they try to halt the Lisa Montgomery execution so they could have her tested as far as her IQ go. And he just had another judge overrule it just so they could execute the woman. You know what I mean? It's just, man. Like I say, when I look at how things here, when I look at how things are here, in a lot of aspects, I would rather be here as opposed to a lot of places. But it's crazy how the damn justice system is. You know what I mean? Where we got one of the craziest justice systems in the whole world. In the entire world. You understand what I'm saying? They're just known. They're known for making, I can't even with a straight face say making mistakes, because I don't believe that it be mistakes. I believe it's just we gotta lock up somebody, so shit, we just gonna take you. We know you're not guilty, but we gonna lock you up for this anyway. And you know what I mean? You know, it seems like every month I'm seeing on the news where as though they're releasing somebody that been locked up for 20, 30, 40 years, and they finding out that, you know what I mean, that they not the ones that actually did the crime or whatever. But you just took 30, 40 years from a person, you know what I mean, for something that they didn't even do. How do you take somebody's basically all the pretty much the best years of their life away from them for something that they did not do? And then, oh, we gonna let you go. We gonna let you go. And you should be happy that we let you go, even though you never did anything that we charged you with. It's freaking amazing, man. Nah, I ain't never read the last statements. And now that you said something, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. It's kind of crazy, man. And it's true. Because it's true. It been plenty, like I say, like now. They got so many people being released behind stuff that they didn't even do, but yet they've been incarcerated for 30, 40 years, 20, 30, 40 years. When they say, oh, well, the DNA evidence, you know what I mean, exonerated this person, you know what I mean, they found out that they weren't the one that actually did this crime or whatever. You got plenty of people, and that's the thing with the death penalty. Once you kill somebody, if it's found out later on that they weren't even guilty in the first place, it ain't like you can just go say, oh, we made a mistake. Oh, you can get up now. You know what I mean? You know you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't put a person to death and then say, oh, we made a mistake. How the hell you do that? Yeah, plenty of them, man. Plenty of them. That's why I say we gotta. Our freaking justice system is, man, it's something else. is something else entirely, man. And I look at like the justice system for different countries and stuff like that. I said, I don't know. I mean, well, I don't know. Well, a lot of it don't be world news, but I know it been like, I think it been like more than 5 people just here in Baltimore. You know what I mean? It been like more than 5 people here in Baltimore in the last 6 months that they released from prison because they found out that they was innocent. You know what I mean? And these people had 20 years or more that they've actually served. You know what I mean? Whereas though they served at least 20 years of the sentence that I think, and most of them had life, ended up having life sentences. So can you imagine? Can you just imagine? I mean, just right. You know what I mean? You should do that. You should do that. Yeah, but just imagine. Just imagine you walk into the store, right? Just imagine you go into the store for the whatever, and all of a sudden the police just pull up, come from everywhere, and snatch you up and say, "Oh, you just killed somebody. You just killed somebody up the street. We got you." You know what I mean? We caught you. And you looking like, what the hell? No, I just came out the house. You killed this person. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you locked up, and you would think to yourself that, you know what I mean? Well, they might come to you and make you an offer. Oh, if you take this 15, 20 years, you know what I mean? And you sitting there looking like 15, 20 years. For what? I didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? So you realizing you didn't actually do anything, so you don't feel like, you know what I mean, you thinking in your head that once the people hear that you didn't do nothing, you just came out of your house or whatever, that you know in your heart of hearts that they gonna set you free. No, that's not the right person. You know what I mean? That ain't the case. You know what I mean? They'll sit there and sometimes know that you didn't actually do the crime, but just for them to save face, they'll still let you go ahead and be found guilty of something that you didn't do just so they can close the case. You understand what I'm saying? And that is so messed up that you would sit there and allow a person to get a life sentence, a actual life sentence, whereas though you know they not never coming home again because you didn't want to admit that you made a mistake. You know what I mean? And picking this person out. It's crazy, man. Like I said, I've been in situations or whatever where as though I ain't gonna say nothing that serious or whatever, but I've been in situations where I get grabbed or I done been grabbed and had them tell me that this is yours. You know what I mean? This is yours when I know good and well that is not mine. You know what I mean? That is not mine. And I'm telling them the whole time that it ain't mine. But don't nobody care. You know what I mean? You just came out the house. You just came out the house. But no, we got to solve this case, so you just gonna take that ride. You know what I mean? To the point where as though I done seen it. Where my damn chips go? I know them little kids ain't take my chips. I done seen it done where as though you had somebody want to fight their case, and they know pretty much the same thing. They know you innocent. Like I say, I watched one of my nephews, right? One of my nephews. I watched them give him 30 years. You know what I mean? I watched these people give my nephew 30 years for something that when he went to court, you know what I mean? Just hearing the testimony and the people, how the first trial he had or whatever, the witnesses or whatever came in and said, the lawyer questioned them, and the witness said that the state's attorney told them what to say, wrote the stuff down for what they were supposed to say so they could take it home and study it so they'll know how to answer the questions. You know what I mean? But he didn't have the sense enough to say, no, ain't nobody do that. So once the judge heard him say that that's what happened, she declared a mistrial. So when she declared a mistrial, when they retried him, none of those same witnesses should have been allowed to come and testify in that second trial. But every last one of them was there, and they all testified in the next trial. None of their stories matched each other. You know what I mean? The person that he was so-called supposed to have been around, they asked that person, did the person that, you know what I mean, that they saw, did they have any tattoos or distinguishing marks or whatever? And the person said no. My nephew had tattoos all on the back of his hands, on the back of both his hands, tattoo on his neck. You know what I mean? But they answer no. But in regardless, he still ended up with 30 years. Wow. Yeah, man. It's crazy. And, you know, and the thing that messed me up the most with that, far as my nephew, he asked me, you know what I mean, they offered him, what they offered him, 12 years. They offered him 12 years and, fuck was it, 40 years suspended. They offered him 12 years with 12 years with, uh, 12 years with 40 suspended or something like that. Whereas though once he came home, he would have had a 40-year suspended sentence hanging over his head, whereas though if he would have got in trouble for anything, they could have gave him that 40 years. So he knew that they was basically trying to set him up so he wouldn't agree. He didn't agree to take it. And he was like, no, I'm going to trial. And just the fact that he went to trial pissed them off, whereas though they was like on some shit, whereas though they did whatever they had to do to assure that he was going to be found guilty. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. You know, played dirty, played real dirty. There was no way in God's green earth that he should have ended up with that 30 years. But now you gotta sit there and try to, you know what I mean, try to get appeals and all that, you know? But It is what it is, man. That's just what the justice system is like that over here. Whereas though, if they don't care about a person being innocent, you know what I mean, or guilty, they just want you to cop out to whatever offer they give you or whatever, regardless of if it's jail time attached with it or not. When they bring you that offer, they want you to take it. They feel like if you don't want to take the offer, you know what I mean, when you already know, you know for a fact that you didn't do this particular crime, the average person wouldn't want to admit to something that they didn't do. No, what they say, a home invasion. A home invasion. Right? And the person, like I say, the person that they said that he was supposed to have been, you know what I mean, around during this home invasion, that he was supposed to have been around this person for like 20, 30 minutes. So if I'm in the home invasion and I'm holding you for 20, 30 minutes, you're going to be able, you're going, if, you know what I mean, you're going to know I had tattoos. You're going to see the tattoos on my hands and neck and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're going to notice that type of stuff. But yet, when people came in the court and they asked them, did the person, you know what I mean, that was in there that day, did they have any tattoos? And they clearly said no. So how, that right there alone should have said, well, damn, this ain't the right person. They didn't care. You know what I mean? They didn't care. No, like I say, I mean, they call this a free country or whatever. I mean, you got a lot of perks or whatever being here, but you let something go down, guess who going first? No, not at all. No, not at all. And see, what happened was when he turned down the plea bargain, it pissed them off. You know what I mean? It pissed them off. So they got the people, like I said, the first time they try to tell the people what to say. You know what I mean? When they came in the courtroom or whatever, and got exposed. So the second time, they probably did the same thing. They did it the first time. I'm more than certain they did it the second time. You understand what I'm saying? And people came in there. I'm like, if all of y'all are in that house when this is going on, then all of y'all should have the same account of what happened. When they put all these people on the stand or whatever, everybody's story was different. You know what I mean? So I'm like, how the hell is everybody's story different? You know what I mean? And they supposedly were in the house, you know what I mean, together. So how the hell can y'all stories differ? Yeah, man. Yeah. Now, and I'm saying, how did you get from 12 years all the way up to 30? Because I refuse to take the time that you tried to give me. You know what I mean? But that's how that thing works, man. I don't know where the heck my chips went at. I know ain't nobody take my chips. Where the heck my chips go? Oh, I'm sitting right here beside it. Yeah, man. But that's how they do. That's exactly how they do, man. right? And you want to hear something crazy? Check this out, right? Why here, where I'm at right now, in Baltimore, we don't even have a self-defense law here, right? We don't even have a self-defense law. So just say if I woke up in the middle of the night, right? Say I woke up in the I woke up in the middle of the night and somebody was in my house and I killed them, you know what I mean, trying to defend my family. Do you know that I can't claim self-defense because we don't have a self-defense law here? The best I could hope for would be justifiable homicide. And I think that carries like 5 to 15 years. And that would be the best that I could hope for. So what did he do? What, did he stab him or something? Well, I mean, in all actuality, if if you in your own house and somebody in there violating you in your own space, and like you say that the person was on top of him, and the only way he could defend himself or get the person off of him was to do what he did. I mean, then that's kind of that's actually self-defense for real. But I guess they say if I don't know. Do y'all actually have? Yeah, well, I guess they say if he stabbed him in the heart and he trying to figure out, well, if he on top of you, how did you end up stabbing him in the heart? Do y'all have a self-defense law there? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. But here, okay. Yeah, that's sort of like here. like I said, it ain't no self-defense law. So if you kill somebody or whatever, the best you can hope for is justifiable homicide. You know what I mean? And depending on circumstances or whatever, you might get a judge that sentence you to that 5 to 15 years, but actually suspend all that time and give you some probation, but you still end up with that charge on your record. You know what I mean? Which will stop you from doing a whole bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? Meaning you can't be meaning that you actually a felon, and now you're not able to own a firearm or none of that. Nope. Nope. If they running, you can't shoot him because they say if he's running away, he's no longer a threat. Right, it actually was. It was though. It was. But see, a lot of time when certain things like that happen, you thinking in the heat of the moment, and you ain't thinking about, especially when your brain kick into survival mode, you just doing what you got to do. You know what I mean? To get out of that situation. But come and get it.
No, I'm not coming and being on that damn live.
Right, somebody gonna see you. Hold on. Where you at? Get off the live then.
Hurry up.
Talk to. Give me that poison sandwich. Right, exactly. You and anybody else with a little bit of common sense. Ain't nobody thinking about, oh, well, let me not make sure I don't hurt this person. Right? Right? But, because that be the first thing on a person's mind, especially somebody taking something that you worked hard for. First thing on your mind to be like, I'm gonna hurt this person. You know what I mean? Just for violating, not knowing that you gonna end up paying the price. You know what I mean? You gonna pay a bigger price than they gonna pay. But I be looking at like prison systems and stuff in different countries. And we got one of the worst, I say, prison systems, period, that I done seen. It's like there's a lot of places, prisons or whatever, they are set up to actually rehabilitate a person, but not here. Right? Right? Because they say, while you kicking them, you could have kicked them in the right spot and could have killed them. And like I say, a lot of people don't. I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't think about none of that. The only thing I would be thinking about is teaching a person a lesson. A very valuable one. Yeah, you would tend to see things different when you think about it later. You know what I mean? In a rational sense. Most of the time. But like I say, that's just like being caught up in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? Rational thinking ain't a thing when, you know what I mean? When there's so much going on. Where my soda go? Yeah, I was sitting up there last night when you told me how long it take to get to Australia. I was sitting there talking to my wife last night after I got off live. That shit had me really. I was really messed up in the head, like. Yeah, right, exactly. Lesson learned. You learned that was your lesson for the day. I was asking my wife, I was like, how in the hell you can stay on the airplane for 24 hours? She said the same way you would drive a car for 24 hours. I say, well, in a car you can pull over and stretch your legs. What? What? Hell no. Shit, they just went up to what? Cigarettes is, depending on where you go at, like $11. Like $11 a pack. Shit, I see. I see, and I thought it was bad over here. Because the cigarettes had just went up. They went up like $2. They just went up $2 a pack about a week ago. And you say $30. Jesus Christ. Right. Yeah, I think the highest that since they went up last week, the most I paid for one pack was like $11. Yeah, the most I paid for a pack like in the last couple weeks was $11. But I said I think they like, I'm not sure how much they are in New York, because they always been high in New York. But shit, in New York, they not even that high. They might be close to 20. Right. 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 And that's what I was telling my wife. I was like, shit, cigarettes is like a fucking drug habit now. You know what I mean? Cigarettes cost more than goddamn weed. I say, shit, a motherfucker definitely had to stop smoking or slow down or something. But it ain't no goddamn way in the world. I think I wouldn't even be smoking if I had to pay $30 for a pack of cigarettes. Shit. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And to be for real, I be buying like 2 packs at a time. I be getting like 2 packs of cigarettes at a time. Ain't $60 for 2 packs of cigarettes? That's a freaking carton. You see Google what the pack look like. You say it's 20 cigarettes. So shit, it can't look like, gotta look like something like how our pack. It's only 20 cigarettes in our pack. So they gotta probably look pretty much the same. Right? I can't smoke it either. I couldn't smoke it either. I mean, I used to smoke mad weed when I was younger. But as I got older or whatever, I don't know. Like I said, I think the weed they be having today, nowadays, be having some different. It's not the same weed that we was smoking. Well, I know it all of it ain't because they didn't have all these strands and stuff back when I was younger or whatever. But it just seemed like it'd be other stuff in the weed. And then when I was smoking whatever, when I got older, when I was younger, I was smoking just be all over the place and shit. I ain't really give damn. But when I got older, if I smoked, it would make me get paranoid. So only way I would smoke is if I was gonna be in the house. You know what I mean? I can't smoke and be around a bunch of people and shit like that because I just feel like everybody out to get me and you know what I mean? Like everybody looking at me and all this old crazy stuff. This shit is crazy though. That shit is crazy. So motherfucker need a goddamn $50 if he wanted to get some fucking some smoke and some smokes. You need $50. Y'all I was getting ready to say, what's the rate of the money there? You know what I mean, is our dollar worth more over there than it is over here? Because I know I could not imagine spending $30 for a pack of cigarettes. I do not mean no harm. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking about that. I'm sitting there thinking about that whole damn thing. $30 fucking dollars for a pack of cigarettes. Man, couldn't nobody ask me for a cigarette? Cause people be, can I have one of your cigarettes? Uh-uh. Hmm. I don't know. I ain't never had no, but I ain't never smoked like that. But like I say, I done seen people like that smoke weed every day and smoke real heavy and shit like that. I done seen younger people where as though they don't have their weed and shit like that, where as though they be going through withdrawals like a motherfucker that been on goddamn smack. You know what I mean? But a lot of time they be smoking them blunts and shit, and motherfuckers is not supposed to be smoking that shit, them blunt papers and shit. You said $1.20 is about $1 Australian. So oh shit. So our fucking money is less than. So if I came over there with $12, I would only end up with $10 in Australian money. So for every $10, it would be 12 US. So shit, I would need 36. I would need 36 US dollars to buy a pack of cigarettes. Oh, definitely hell no. Definitely hell no. Super hell no. Super duper hell no. I be pissing a fit right now when they just went up to fucking $11. I know I'm about to stop smoking. No, you say it's the other way around. So, okay. Well, shit, that ain't too far off. So if I came with 10, I have 12. So $20 would be 24, and 30 would be 36. It's still tough. That's still tough when you think about the goddamn cigarettes. Fuck. For $30 a pack, goddamn one cigarette should be about this goddamn long. Goddamn pack should have to be in a damn backpack. A pack of them motherfuckers should come with straps on them where you can put the motherfuckers, strap them on your back for $30. There should be some long ass cigarettes. Shit. $30 a pack. So shit. That equal out, yeah, that shit. Still way more than the cost of cigarettes over here. Yeah, man, shit. But I say I gotta stop smoking, man. It's just you be doing shit that's getting active, doing shit where you gotta be moving around and getting short of breath and shit. And it's like the older motherfucker get you might not feel like you old mentally, but your body will let you know, yeah, you might feel like you still 18 in your head, but check this out. You better not be trying to run nowhere. Damn it. God damn. Well, I ain't gonna say that much. I mean, shit here. I mean, they got some houses here. Now, say like newly renovated, something that they just went in and newly renovated and modernized. You know what I mean? They be starting around between 250,000, between 250, $350,000. Shit, but that's still a big ass gap. Half a motherfucking meal ticket for a 3-bedroom. Wow. So, I mean, shit? What is the goddamn right? Yeah. So what is the like minimum wage over there? Or is it set up like that? Shit, if the cost of living is that high over there, you gotta make a lot of fucking money wherever you would work at just to maintain. Excuse me. 1,500 a month. Well, I say here it's probably about, depending on the actual area you might be in, probably somewhere in between 1,000 and 1,200 a month. right? Hey, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of motherfucking money. $500,000 for a 3-bedroom house. Who's doing a 3-bedroom house? Hmm. Yeah, it's not too far off. It ain't too far off. Yeah, it ain't too far off. Yeah, I done about to bounce off of this joint for the night. His wife get ready to hit me in my head. Hollering about she don't want to be on my live. I say, come and get the cigarette. I don't want to be on the live. Any other time she be coming in the door when I be on here, just walking straight through the door. See, look at her. Look. I talked her up, and she gonna holler about time. I'm gonna jump off of this thing. I'm gonna try to meet. I'm gonna try to meet my regularly scheduled. I'm gonna say 8. Oh no, I can't do that, bro. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm a felon. I'm a felon, brother. I'm a felon. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to. You know what I mean? I can't do that. Yeah, try to tap in tomorrow, bro. Try to tap in tomorrow. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna definitely be on at 8 tomorrow. I'm gonna definitely be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We can. I'm gonna put some more of the book out there. No doubt. Same here, bro. Same here. I'm gonna go into the next story in the book. You know what I mean? And then we just go take the rest of the time. You know what I mean? Where the conversation lead. You know what I mean? Always a pleasure, my Australian brother. You hear me? Right. Right. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Johnny Legs. to the mall, man. You in the air, brother. My man, Johnny Legs, my Australian brother.